do. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Alright, that's Remux. Let me. Alright, let's do this. Download anyways. Premiere Pro. Bang. What the fuck? Nope. Yeah, there we go. All right, there we go. Let me edit the YouTube stream real quick. Dashboard, studio, bang. Let me. Also, let me do this. Diana Sessions. Alright, for now we'll do that. And open a new tab. There we go. It's a League of Legends stream. All right, there we go. Lower this, get this closer to my mouth. How we doing, folks? How we doing? Pull this over here. Keep this up on the side because I'm going to need to pull up Twitter. All right. All right, let's get this loaded up, and I've got a surprise thing for the start of this afterwards. Let me put myself up there. There we go. All right. Yeah. There we go. I need to turn up the volume on this. There we go. All right. I'll be honest with you. I had almost no intention of making a rendezvous out of this week, given that 100 Thieves does not play this weekend. So saving the preview of our matchup against Lion for next week felt like the most appropriate thing to do. But then the interviews started coming out this week. Then the episode of Pros happened. And honestly, I'm really annoyed with what's happening with Sniper right now and I don't want to let it go unsaid, especially since this could all be over very soon. And I just want to dedicate some time to what I feel like is 100 Thieves going back to like the 2018 Meteos like level of, hey, we're just going to fuck up communication terribly on this and not be transparent with what's going on, especially for a fan favorite community player. And even though I'm a team guy, by all means, like 100 Thieves was like the org, and I will always sit here and try and rationalize moves for the org. And rationalize moves for the org. This one has me really scratching my head. Okay. Okay, this is the cool part that I wanted to do and make this intro a little bit more unique because I had a unique thing happen. Scratching my head. Alright, let me unlink this. Head. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there we go. Let me. Yeah, I agree. I want to. How do I want to do this? I want to do this up here. This down there. And that goes there. Really scratching my head. Alright, there we go. And then I'm gonna do this. To be able to use the intro song that I saw live is kind of a power move. I need to reduce this audio. Scratching my head. Okay, ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. Ooh. My head. My head. Nah, still slightly. Nope, that was a little too early. Never mind, it's the opposite. I'm still ever so slightly off. Why am I like going the wrong way? Is that the problem here? How we doing, Lifex? IDK Max Martin is producing. I know. I'm excited for it. I ain't gonna cap. I ain't gonna cap. There we go. A 100T fan series. We're gonna make this red. That the Chainsmokers? It is the Chainsmokers. Oh, LifeX, you didn't see the videos, did you? Your boy was how do I say this? Front row? Yeah. Okay, yeah, you saw that. I'm just gonna let that outro be. Slightly. There we go. There we go. Episode Who Knows? This is EFF 305. And then we'll cut that there. Yes, the intro was the Chainsmokers. Alright, that's the only happy part of this video. Enjoy it while we had it. And bang. Take it. Yeah. Would you say it's hang on? Would you say it's worth seeing them in a festival since they're coming to? Hey, breakaway. Yes. Oh. Jesus Christ. Especially given that it's about, put it this way, I paid 105 to see them alone for a single night at under the K Bridge. Yes, that price is hella worth. Granted, your set's going to be a lot shorter. They went 2.5 hours here. But in general, yeah, 100%. Right. One last time, and then make sure this transitions well. Danny, who's 100 Thieves video, Shaq, nice, nice. Danny, who's 100 Thieves videographer, I hope you don't mind me using the Twitter video and putting it up here since the org's not going to be putting the stuff on YouTube. I might as well use it in some way, shape, or form.
That's it. Let's go.
So if you need a quick like catch up, go. The sniper unknown situation. Why the fuck is that text not? That should be bold. And this needs to... There we go. Should come out the mat. I wish I could. Believe me, if I could travel to see the Chainsmokers, I'd travel to see them literally anywhere. Anywhere. I love them. All right, there we go. I might as well use it in some way, shape, or form. If you have a problem with it, I can take down this video and re-upload again, but I'm just going to use it. It all doesn't matter in a few weeks anyways. So if you need a quick catch up of this past week, the events that have transpired since, here we go. Dokla was announced that he was going to be a 6-man for this roster, with Golden Glue coming out with a statement saying that yes, they're going to share time. Sniper is not just disappearing into the void. He is still going to be here and be around. Yeah. But everything since that moment, everything since the statement, or since what 100 Thieves put out in Golden Glue's tweet on it, has been very hey, Dokla's the guy, and Sniper's just out. And that initially irked me the wrong way for a myriad of reasons. The biggest one being the only 100 Thieves YouTube video that we've gotten this split was a conversation between Golden Glue and Dokla. Okay, I need a screenshot of this YouTube video. 100T lol. That works. And that initially irked me the wrong. Bang. Gallery. This video, by the way, titling, discussing player conditions. Fucking wild now. Fucking wild. Talking about, from the position of coaches, how they were going to handle the split, development, things like that. And for Dokla to step in and then be a player when your job, what you were hired to do to bring in, or what you were brought in to do, was to make sure Sniper does improve or help fix his mental or help one of the various different things that could be going on right now because we don't have access to what is happening inside the org. Swapping then to a player that's going to take his job, the guy that Sniper should inherently trust. You need to have trust in your coaches to make sure that they have your best interest in mind. You don't want to have to worry about whether they have an ulterior motive or not. And that's not saying that Dokla did. Because as we found out over recent interviews, it doesn't really seem like that's the case. But I'll get to that in a minute. The moment Sniper's mental is going to collapse even further. And he truly is going to feel that's the case. But I'll get to that in a minute. The moment you sever that trust, Sniper's mental is going to collapse even further. Because then he truly is going to feel the weight of, oh, my org has given up on me. And yes, the writing is on the wall to begin with that the organization is not going to be around. Sniper did let loose, or let slip early on in the season that, yeah, it looks like some players might already have verbal agreements with other orgs, which is beyond problematic in so many different ways that I can't even fathom or comprehend. But obviously we're never going to know that unless it leaks. But if that's the case, oh man, Riot really needs to launch an investigation on this. Holy shit. That's unacceptable for everybody on that team. And it's not right for the player to do either. So Dokla comes in
Why the
to
fuck
the
is there-
roster. Okay, they're gonna
Why the
split
fuck
time.
did that do
Okay,
that?
Dokla starting
Is there a gap?
game 1.
Wow, there's a gap. I didn't know there was a gap there.
And it's not right for the player to do either. So Dokla comes in to the roster. Okay, they're gonna split time. Okay, Dokla game 1 versus Shopify this past weekend. A must-win series to try and get them up to 4th place potentially. A really game 1 versus Shopify this past weekend. A must-win series to try and get them up to 4th place
because it wasn't 4th place
this weekend. A really needed bounce back series to prove that they needed bounce back series to prove that they can just hang with even the teams that are like middle of the pack. Shopify is kind of the unanimously agreed upon 4th best team in the region right now. Lion might actually be ahead of them, but that's a story for a different day. We needed something good here, and game 1 looked promising, but not due to Dokla. Let's be honest. He fell behind. Entire series, Dokla really didn't have that big of an impact.
First K-pop Demon Hunters are the first girl group since Destiny's Child to get a #1 single on the charts. That's fucking insane. That's fucking insane. Like, that's like the pressure on KDA when they return is so fucking high right now. It's so high. It's ridiculous. And by the way, that was part of the reason why I made that video in the first place, was because somebody made a TikTok like 2.5 weeks ago saying if they were to hit #1, which they could, these are like the historical precedents. And the second that was said, I was like, bruh, what? That's insane. That deserves a video, because it's basically Akali, Lux, and fucking Ari just doing that there. Right? Has the money and resources to beat Sony Animations? No. But it doesn't matter whether they do or don't. That's the precedent that has been set now. Okay. Khan's saying they do. I'm saying they don't have the right. There's no way they have the right people involved to be able to handle that. We needed something good here. And game 1 looked promising, but not due to Dokla. Let's be honest. He fell behind. In this entire series, Dokla really didn't have that big of an impact. The reality of game 1 form were that it was Quid and it was River bouncing back into split 1 form where they were on point, they were hitting every skill shot, they were being the form that we saw take them to finals, take 100 Thieves to finals, where, hey, as long as top lane is not separated from the team in massive fights, as long as bot lane is putting out damage, not ulting into bad positions like FBI has a tendency to do this season, yeah, like we should be fine. And that's exactly what happened. We put him in the body bag. But then game 2, and it's right back. Like the honeymoon stage, you would expect to last for a little bit longer than it did. Compete plus music video. They do. But the problem is you need way more than just the music video. The biggest problem that Riot has going for them is that their marketing is not great. And the thing with these groups, if you're not going to have a movie or like or something to that, like K-pop Demon Hunters is marketed so fucking well. So well relative to what like Arcane and KDA is. Partially because of increased budget, but I mean Arcane's different because Arcane's obviously like an adult thing. And KDA Arcane can't be what KDA Demon Hunters would ever be. But KDA absolutely can. And Fortiche can deliver an astounding music video, like, and everything around it. Like, all the music videos for the album, like, all of that. They could do that great. But it's still on Riot to market it properly. And you also need a banger song. And I'll be honest with you, Riot's music department, I'd be scared of another KDA album, personally. I know it needs to come, but they need to innovate on their sound, as I said in the video. And I don't know if they, like, their producers do have a very specific, like, it's like when you work with Jack, like using the Taylor Swift example, you know, when she works for Jack Antonoff for so long, you don't feel like there's any innovation in the sound and in the music. You need something fresh. Even if it's just entirely different, you need something fresh. And that's what KDA and Riot Music in general needs. Also, camera froze. I'm not seeing camera froze on my end. Is anybody else seeing camera froze? Is anybody else seeing that? Chat? Camera not frozen? Okay, so it was just a con thing. Got it. No, it lasted a single game, and we were right back to 2 straight games of, oh, this team just ain't able to do anything. Partially because the drafting was honestly horrendous, especially if I'm reading these symbols correctly, because I'm not good with Chinese symbols. I think that's Yuki, and I saw that you followed 3 days ago. I don't know if I read that out on stream. Thank you for the follow. Gotta blow up on TikTok to compete? Oh, absolutely.
3.
You have to have the TikTok shit down.
Full dive comp, and then the second we fell behind in individual lanes, Quid was getting beat by Palafox in mid lane pretty bad in that game too. Yone obviously got the better of him as well. Once we fell behind, these comps don't work. Period. You gave yourselves no tools if you fell behind in the slightest to make it work. So I do blame Draft.
He's the man.
A lot.
You'll like what's coming tomorrow then, I will say. And I don't mean tomorrow just as in like this video, but
for some of these games. And that brings into question coaching, but also players, depending on how much coaching has a say in draft versus players individually wanting champions. That's always a mystery that every team has to solve. But let's be honest, Dokla made no impact at all. Like him or Sniper. Maybe Sniper being in the game, maybe he does in it away more. Because I saw those comments of people saying, oh, well, Sniper's in this. They probably don't even win game 1. He'd be out of position. There was a play in game 1 where Dokla was pushing tier 2 and getting macro elsewhere. Which, yes, I will agree with you. Sniper's had these moments where he should be pushing and is not.
All right, let me get a Sniper pick now that video's done. Let's go albums. Let's go LTA North. Split 1, week 1, day 1. There we go. I need a video of Sniper or a picture of Sniper. Nothing? Were we day 2? I don't think we were. I guess we were. We were day 2. Son of a bitch. No, Dokla did not do all that well. All right, let's put this picture here. And then that picture is set. So that I don't have to do anything. I can just keep this exactly as is. Bang. And now I'm just going to leave that flat for the rest of the video.
And is just getting ready to group at all times, which can be problematic. Absolutely. Yep. But we've also seen him split push effectively whenever 100 Thieves is clicking. For some reason, something's just off. And I don't blame Sniper as an individual as a whole. Like, people were assuming, oh, like, he can never learn these things. He's out of it. He's done. He's washed. He was just like his brother. One great split.
I know why.
And it's over, and that's it. I don't believe that at all. What I personally believe is that you destroyed his mental. I think his mental went downhill for sure after a rougher year this year. He had that bounce back series against Blippo in Split 1, but Split 2 is a continuation of a possible downward trend that we were starting to see in certain phases. That's like, yeah, this ain't great. And then it spirals off a cliff in this particular split because clearly there are problems well beyond just his gameplay, as the interviews are now starting to show us. On pros, FBI, Dokla, and Palafox were all on. It was an NRG reunion because, let's be honest, the FBI and Dokla, you would assume are like decently good friends. We know that Palafox and Dokla had some issues when they were playing together as a team, but like other than that, like it seems like everybody here is friends. And Palafox, let me move this. Let me get this in here. Need the arch tweets. There we go. Bang. Bang. I really don't think it'll matter, but I do think it makes it harder to beat them because of the honeymoon phase, whatever. The important part is the vibe I've been getting is that some people on the team might go from winning to become 5th seed. You're genuinely confused. What if I told you there's even a scenario where DSG or where Dignitas could have gotten 4th split or 4th seed had they tied TL in game record and had a faster win rate? What if I told you that? But no, but how though? Because all right, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up real quick. LTA North split 3. All right, so had Dignitas won. Okay, Dignitas finish. Game or no, game record was one. It's hang on. Let me get Leo. Hold up. Let me go back. Let me go back. All right, it goes series wins, game record, series head-to-head if possible, strength of victory, game time. So, somebody told me that Dignitas could have had that happen. Let me see how this would have been possible. So, had Dig gone 2-0, surely there's no way, unless the rules are. It should have been game record then. Unless because, well, no, because they lost 4. Oh, you know what it might have been. Oh, that's probably what it is. No, it couldn't have been. Because 3 and 4 is still a higher win rate, and the game differential wouldn't have been. They went 2-0, 1-2, 0-2. If you go 0-2, 0-2, 2-0, then your record's what, 2 and 4? Let me just make sure my math is right here and I'm not like fucking this up. 2 divided by 6. Oh wait, no. Yeah, 2 divided by 6 games is a 33% win rate. And then it would have been 3 divided by 7. No, so I don't see how that would have worked. Yeah. If Dig would have. Well, no, they wouldn't have because they went 0-2 against both Shopify and C9. So they wouldn't have been 3-4. Whoever said that, I don't know how that works then. I don't know. Somebody told me that Dignitas could have potentially finished 4th. I don't see how that's possible with game differential being as it was. But regardless, like, fucking irrelevant at the end of the day. Thank God, the split's done. We don't have to worry about it. It's catchy, but I can't seriously. Oh, neither can I, but kids fucking love it. Anyways, let's finish this. I want to
not like Sniper, or might not agree with him, or think he's too chill, or something. And you can kind of see Sniper's whole demeanor has just been a bit more depressed. And this added some much needed clarity for me into what is going on here. Yeah, the C9 first seed is bullshit. Bullshit. And we had to fucking watch whatever the fuck that C9 show match was instead of getting an actual like tiebreaker. That's bullshit. And that is, without saying any names of particular players, one or more individuals have an issue with Sniper being as young as he is and needing to grow into this role as a top laner, which takes a lot of specific coaching. Takes somebody to crack the leash on him a little bit, but still allow him to embrace his personality and have fun. And the players got annoyed with it. He's not in the right situation that's going to allow him to grow. And because of that, hate festered. So much hate to the point where so much hate to the point where they thought they'd bring in a known quantity in Dokla that would help them. But the reality fucking was that the issues of this team run way goddamn deeper than one individual player, especially a player who, I mean, from the outside looking in, every interaction that I've had with him, I saw Don Jake tweet about it. I've seen many other pros, including Contracts, say, this does not seem you know what? I'm actually just going to get this off the screen. Here, let me do this and just put this on the side. There we go. There we go. Bang. Don't. Yeah, we have one series against Lion. If we lose, we're done. Fair to Sniper at all. What you seemingly have is a kid that's high energy, happy-go-lucky all the time. Is he going to make mistakes? Yes, a ton of them. Is he going to mess up? Sure. Maybe he is too chill, and you need to find a way to get him to lock in, which takes a specific type of coaching to be able to figure out what makes Sniper tick. You have to solve the puzzle that will unlock his full potential while not taking away from who he is as an individual. Because if you try and fit somebody that is very unique like that into a specific mold, see Surdy and Dignitas, what will happen is they will collapse. And you've seen it on Sniper's face in the last 2 weeks that mentally he has collapsed. And look, I'm not saying the other players are entirely at fault there, because it's not on individuals who don't see eye to eye with other teammates to figure that shit out. I do blame coaching for not being able to put an environment in place that allows people with different philosophies, with different ways of going about things to work their shit out. I'm sorry, but this kid's got skill. I don't know why he didn't pick up Rumble in the offseason. Maybe he needs somebody actually on his ass 24/7. Some people do. And you know what? That's a good investment. But 100 Thieves also knew that they were going, so why would they make that investment? I get it. But I cannot shake this feeling that Sniper was done absolutely dirty by either the players, by coaching staff, by management, and the org itself. And what will be the telltale sign for me, and I will eat my words if this comes to be, if Sniper doesn't get a single game versus Lion at all, yeah, like that says everything you need to know. That it was never a 6-man roster. It was never fully about splitting time on stage, because we've heard the rumors that Sniper runs it down in scrims, but will step up on stage when it matters most, or at least was for a bit there. This was about certain people on the roster wanting to go out with what they saw was potentially the best chance for them to possibly secure a spot later on, and that was Comfort with potentially an old friend. This whole video, honestly, barring like the interviews and pieces of content that we've seen explicitly, is my speculation. Why? Because the org doesn't communicate with us at all. The players don't communicate with us at all. There is a way for players to come out and say, hey, look, we're not seeing eye to eye. Dokla has a mentality that we think is going to blend better with the pieces that we got. We have to make a move. It's not working, and this is the easiest one to make. Is it fully fair to Sniper? No, but given the options available, this is kind of what we need to try to make something work. And then if it doesn't work in the offseason, we understand that it is going to be what it is. That's a level of honesty and transparency that you could have as a player and as an org, but nobody's willing to fucking give us. So because of that, we have to sit here and speculate the entire time. So I would implore the players to maybe step out of your bubble just a little bit and speak on this, because you know that Sniper can't. Sniper can't, I mean, he could put his position out there potentially, but he's not going to. He's young. He's still trying to figure out the right way to handle all these situations. As the veterans of this roster, River, FBI, Ayla, the guys who have been around for multiple years now and are the veterans of this team, that's your responsibility. For coaching staff, that's your responsibility. But leaving us, the general public, out here in limbo does not make us like you at all anymore in this situation. And I say that as the one guy that will try and make sure that the org side and the team side is represented as fairly as possible. But you're not making that easy, or in this situation, possible for me at all. We'll talk about the Lion matchup specifically next week. I just wanted a little bit of justice for Sniper in this particular video, because I want to make sure that he gets a spot next year if he wants it. And hopefully a team is willing to give the resources to hopefully try and understand what makes him work as an individual player better. When Surdy, when Contracts and other players are sticking up for you, it sounds like Contracts is seeing a little bit of his past in this situation. I tend to believe those players more than anybody else in this situation, especially given our history of North American talent development. And for 100 Thieves now, a consistent pattern of not being able to develop the best players. You got Quid, but he's your canary in the coal mine. Every other one, you got Quid, but he's your canary in the coal mine. Every other one, develop somewhere else. But it's not like it really matters what you have to show for it anyways. In 2 weeks, hell, potentially next week, it's all over. I cannot believe I went on for 14 minutes on that topic. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Not often I shock myself with how long I talk, but I was not expecting myself to go on for that long. I'll be honest with you. Do this. Bang, bang, bang. Wipe those. That needs to be 150. And we need some music for this entire thing, which we're going to go with Diana Sessions. Where's it at? Nope. There it is. Bang. I'm happy they give us Serena back for it. I mean, Arena's not my thing, but I'm happy for people that like it. If that's your thing, that's your thing. By all means, like, enjoy it and have fun. -50. Bang. All right. Let's put this. Let's put this down here, there, and then cut these out. I'll be honest with you. I had almost no intention of making a rendezvous episode this week, given that 100 Thieves does not play this weekend. So saving the preview of our matchup against Lion for next week felt like the most appropriate thing to do. But then the interviews started coming out this week. Then the episode of Pros happened. And honestly, I'm really annoyed. Just make sure the transition has me really scratching my head. Danny, who's 100 Thieves videographer, I hope you don't mind me using the Twitter video and putting it up here since the org's not going to be putting the stuff on YouTube. All right, there we go. That's good. Export the Rendezvous Sniper Edition .mp4. All right, let that go. I need to do the thumbnail. We need a good... What do you think LCS teams can learn from LCK teams in terms of support that players need to grow and develop? I think you need coaching staff, and this might be... It's tough because I don't think like coaches have time to do this, but like education would be really fucking nice. Send these guys to like be willing to pay for fucking leadership training and seminars and all that shit. Like, invest in your education of this stuff and like understand, like, because you are teachers. And I think like like a lot of these guys are just former pros that are like trying to communicate things that they knew as players, like learning how to coach when you did not learn like how to teach people. Like one of the big things that I think is like really problematic, which like some people know within the space, but others I don't think fully do. And you see it a little bit in like amateur coaching. Like I've seen these videos of like, oh, pay, $250 for this coaching session. And their coaching session is they go into a fucking video and they point out 20 goddamn things that this person is doing wrong. And the reality is the human mind can only focus on 1 to 2 things at a time, especially when trying to fix problems. In golf, our general rule as teachers is you can have 1 pre-swing and 1 during swing thought, assuming the person is able to have the mental capacity to do that. If they can't, then just the pre-swing or just the in-swing. You have to gauge what the individual person can tolerate in terms of their ability to learn and effectiveness of implementing it in practice. And so much with coaching from people who are inexperienced or are trying to like flex how much they know and like prove that they're the better coach. They'll start spewing off shit. And it's like you have to simplify it. You need to focus on one thing. Drills exist for a reason. You are drilling one thing, one mechanic to the point where you have it memorized that you can focus on something else so it becomes natural. When trying to coach somebody and saying like, hey, for example, my big thing in the offseason was like, Sniper really needed to fucking learn Rumble. Really needed to learn Rumble. He should have been putting in, like, coaching staff's lesson or like plan for him should have been, hey, I need to see 100 games of solo queue from you and Rumble over the next month. And I need you to write down, or I need you to be able to, some sort of lesson where like you need to demonstrate to me that you've understood the knowledge of the champion too. Like whether that's like calling out individual ability or like an individual interaction with a matchup, like something like that you learned over the course of that to show that you learned, especially during the off season. But like, I'm also not a pro coach. I'm a golf coach. I can tell you the individual things I would work on there. But I don't know. To me, this is always a coaching problem. How to interview coaches for LCS. Oh, Con, we both know the answer is fucking nothing. We both know exactly what the answer to that one is. Okay, I want 2024 day 1. Or actually, do I go with finals? Yeah, I think I go with LTA 1 split. Oh, that's rendering, ain't it? I was gonna say nothing's clicking. Hey, Lunar, thank you. Thank you. Let's throw off some music, by the way. There we go. I would love to know what's going on in those scrims for them, for it to be as bad as it is right now. Okay, yeah, this is going to freeze my computer. Terminal management, not creating environments where players and coaches can thrive. Think it's making sense? Probably. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I mean, I get it. From the tier 2 perspective, you are trying to promote and you don't want to keep blowing money for a long period of time. I get why people have less patience for that type of stuff. They want this like college pipeline where they can just pull talent out of, but the reality is we don't have that. At all. So, how do you fix that? I don't know. You need an owner that has a good eye for this shit. And like knows how to run a fucking business that is a either long-term investment, or if they're going for the short play, fine. Like, you got to be very transparent with that shit. But it comes a lot on ownership. Setting bad expectations from the top fucks you. Alright, there was a picture of like, I'm thinking of Split 1, there was a picture of like Sniper behind the gate or some shit. Maybe it was... Maybe it's this one? There was one with like Sniper behind a cage or some shit as they were doing walkouts. No, I guess not. I thought it was Split 1 finals. Am I crazy? I mean, that's the one, but I kind of like this picture the most. Now I'm going to put myself over it. Alright. Okay, let me... Oh, nope, I need that. What? And then I'm gonna do this, make this red, like blood red. Put this here. That's gonna be the bottom tagline. We can delete that, delete me, remove that. We need to create a quick gradient on this, create a clipping mask. This. Move that over towards white, and then 100 T sniper situation. There we go. Alright, and then let's see if we can make this work. Okay, I'll make that a little smaller. Alright, let's try. I kind of don't like this picture. There's just too much I'm trying to crop out of it. That it feels a little wild, or a little odd. Let me see about LCS finals when he was there. It's a little too blurry. He's out of focus, he's too far. Let's see, is there one of him? Oh. Oh. That's the one. That's the one. Hold up. Watch this. Alright, we're gonna put this. Create a clipping mask. You need to stay attached. Watch this. Alright, I'm gonna go Bang. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take him and Spooks and bang. Then watch this. I'm gonna put a filter, Gaussian blur, blur the two of them out pretty heavily, or blur everything else around them out pretty heavily. Add a glow around these guys. Make it like a whitish red. Ah, fuck. Hang on. I don't like that. Hang on. I gotta go back. There we go. Repaste that. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Perfect. This layer, outer glow, gives them a red glow around them. Bang. And then I'm going to add a gradient from the bottom so that it slowly gets darker as it goes down. Nice. And we're going to put this notably behind them so that they stay there, but the background picture behind it gets a little bit of a, ooh, a little bit of an additional gradient. Oh, no. And now I just need a picture of myself. Black and white. I mean, I could. Like black and white for everything. I don't, hang on, how do I? Let me see. All right, let me get rid of that. See if we can make. Problem is, I don't know. I don't quite know how to make it black or white. Would it be hue or saturation? Oh, lightness. No, it's not that. Adjustments. Oh, brightness and contrast. No. All right, let's do our. Hold up. Make something black and white in Photoshop. Let's see.
Hello, this one with this adjustments, we can choose black and white too.
There's a black and white option. You're fucking with me. Seriously? Seriously? That's fine, but I do need to adjust this real quick. So if I hide this, we need to erase some of this over here so that the glow stays only around them and is not around the outside.
Where's your playlist taking you? Down the highway? To the mountains?
That's sick.
Or just
That's
into
fucking
daydream
sick.
mode
All
while you're
right.
stuck in traffic?
Great idea.
With
Great
our
idea. You're the
50 miles
fucking go
worldwide,
for that.
Best Western is there to help you make the most of your getaway. Wherever that is. Because the only thing better than a great playlist
I love
a
that.
great
And then
trip.
the red like outline around
What's the
them
trip?
as everything
Make the
else is
most of
like
it at
black
Best
and white.
Western.
All right, now we gotta do the
Direct
cringy
at
part.
bestwestern.com.
I'm sorry, Coco. Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, come here. Hey, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know you're sleep. Oh, I know you don't want to move. I am sorry. I need. All right, I'm gonna try and do this sitting down. I notably was not wearing a hat in the video. Can't wear a hat. cringy selfie photo for the thumbnail, but you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, let me move that out of the way. Dave takes more selfies than a 16-year-old girl at prom. Facts. But you know what? My Snapchat score? Still 0. So suck it. There we go. All right, let me open up my DMs, not on stream, preferably. That'd be great. Go, get rid of all that on the side. How about we get my right ear in that, please? That'd be great. Can you widen yourself like Whippo? I could. I could. If I can go full wide. A bit longer, not loose line. Yeah, but I like Lion looks good. Lion does look good. I'll give him that. You want to know the worst part? You know the clip of Queso doing the burger challenge? Of him like identifying the burgers? Bro, I got those quicker than he got them. By a lot. It wasn't even close. Your body might as well be a pencil. You're not wrong. I can go all the way up my wrist, like in terms of like wrapping my thing around there. I can wrap that around my ankles as well. Like I'm toothpick thin. Even though like I'm bulking out a little bit, there's only so much I can do. All right, let's upload this to YouTube real quick. Get this done. And then we're going to watch Sharpie's video. And then if I have time to play a game, I'll play a game. But I don't know if I will. Had a hammer. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, man. Hope you're okay. Okay. Let's upload this video. Finish premiere. What did I title this? Sniper? 100T Sniper? Where's the yellow hoodie? The Rendezvous Sniper Edition. That's what it was. The Rendezvous. No, it wasn't meant for kids. Gaming. League of Legos. Next. Monetization on. Next. None. Next. Report from the latest video. Checks. Nice. Schedule. Members only. Wednesday. 10 a.m. So members get their first chance at it. I haven't even seen how many people are members. Oh shit, I didn't even title it. Whoops. Something is wrong with... There we go. If you penciled in, does that mean you can do a ton of pull-ups? No, because pull-ups are mostly like chest and upper body strength, which I don't have a lot of. I can do like 4 pull-ups straight, and that's it, unfortunately. The thing I can do a lot of, have you ever done cable crunches where like you're on your knees, you pull like the rope cable behind your head, and then you crunch, like, and you crunch down? Like, what's the weight that you've done on that? Because that's the one where I continue to be impressed with myself on that. Because I'll do 15 reps of 140 pounds. That one I'm proud of. All right, that's uploading. We can put that off to the side. Not worry about it. We can mute that. Dave is a squatter. Nah, my knees ain't the best. I don't have a groove in my kneecaps where my kneecap would sit, so I always have to be careful with my knees. I've had to be that way since I was young. So I try not to go too hard on squats. My thighs are getting there. They're growing a little bit, but it's not fully there. I'm just never going to be jacked like that, unfortunately. Let's go Sharpie lol. Why did I think Sharping lol was going to return what I wanted? Hang on. It was in the Discord earlier. I'll pull it up from the Discord. Oh, who's messaging me off stream? Lol Sharpie. That's why. Bang. There we go. 20 minutes, bro. Jesus Christ. What, you expected me to watch one of my own videos at this point? Nah, just playing. Alright, just know. I'm going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb. As I typically do. If you've never watched a Hasanabi stream, this is going to be a rude awakening for a lot of people. That a 20-minute video. I'm starting this 1 hour and 9 minutes into this stream. This is probably going to go on for an hour. Fine-tooth comb? Yeah. You never heard of that? Fine-tooth comb. Like you're combing out somebody's hair rather than a brush. Like a fine-tooth comb. It separates out the individual hairs better. Going through something with a fine tooth comb. To scrutinize something, to look at it very carefully. Yeah. Dumbbells, deadlifts. I'm not allowed to lift more than 35 pounds free weight. Medically not allowed to. Today you learned something, Litter. Congratulations. All right, let's see what Sharpie has to say.
League of Legends. An icon of international culture. First ballot holder of video gaming's Mount Rushmore. Foundation of the hit Netflix series Arcane.
Okay, I gotta pause it right there. Sorry, already. Is League ballot, like, first ballot Hall of Famer game? Immediately, like, esports wise, obviously it's tier 1 bar none, but video game wise, probably, right? What else would be up there? In America, I'm gonna say no. In America, it's Minecraft, it's Call of Duty, it's Fortnite, and Roblox. CSGO, maybe. Roblox, I don't feel. Oh, GTA, you're right. Yes, 100%. GTA, Call of Duty, Minecraft, Fortnite. Those are the four. Those are the four of all time. Roblox just needs more time. But internationally, I agree, League of Legends on the list. Okay.
A game where 150 million players have been summoned onto the Rift at least once. That's 1 out of every 50 people globally. Its esports scene has been no slouch either. This past year, the peak concurrent viewership for the World Finals between T1 and BLG
An all-time
was
high,
nearly
baby.
7 million people.
An
And
all-time
that
high.
number doesn't even account for their massive Chinese viewership. Amazingly, over the past 14
Is this AI? No, this is definitely Sharpie's voice.
years, Riot Games has given
You
out
can't tell
a
the inflection at the end of the words. Like, that's not something that AI can replicate.
mind-boggling $110 million in prize money to a vast global infrastructure of hundreds of teams spread across dozens of leagues.
Okay, I'm sorry, Sharpie, you're going to kill me. Again, sorry, I pause through these videos a lot. I'm just letting you know ahead of time, I pause a lot. The international highest prize pool. Interesting. So within 115? So within 4 years alone of Dota 2's The International is way higher. Dozens of leagues? Nah, like this is, if we're talking LCS history, you have to go back to the periods where we had like 14, 15 different regional leagues. That's a fair statement. When OCE was their own region, when Japan was their own like league.
So why is it that despite the World's Finals being the most watched esport event of all time just 7 months ago, North America's LTA struggles to scrape out even 100,000 viewers in total?
Which we haven't hit yet. We have not hit yet the split. We hit 95. Well fucking play with that typing sound. Well played.
In 2018, the LCS was growing at an exceptional rate. Riot introduced franchising, Team Liquid was on the doorstep of their legendary four-peat, the scene was filled with superstar players like Doublelift, Meteos, Huni, Power of Evil, Bjergsen, Damonte, Jensen, and Xmithy, and the season
Dazzler
wrapped
Greenwald.
up with a dominant Team Liquid finals performance in front of over 500,000 peak concurrent viewers. 2019 continued this success, featuring a strong narrative of rivals between players, great finals venues in St. Louis and Detroit, the four-peat.
Folks, do you see that? Do you see that logo right there? The fucking goat. Also, the song that you're pulling this from, one of the best cinematics of all time, or for LCS history. This entire fucking playoff run was just NF music video, or like music put over tracks, and it was just peak. It was peak. Hold up, sorry. We ain't gonna talk about Ligaton, okay? We ain't gonna talk about this one or that one, but I'm on YouTube, so I can only play a very small portion of this, but like,
Huni is just a top laner now. Forget his
6 seconds in, already has me hooked. Song is awesome in the background, dramatic, smoke coming out. Huni ain't that guy anymore. Fucking repeat this, but with impact this weekend. Shit,
name
that
is
goes
Huni.
hard.
Forget
as
all
hell.
the things he did.
COG is a tough team to put your faith in, especially after what happened last year.
Cloud9,
they haven't won the NALCS since 2014 spring.
Yeah, I know the person in the mirror is not a perfect one.
All right, not going to go any further, but that Optic logo. Peak. So good teasers in the wheel. Yup.
Being completed and an iconic 5-game finals between TSM's Bjergsen and Team Liquid's Doublelift, reaching over 600,000 concurrent viewers. The North American viewer base was growing dramatically in everything. The broadcast was restructured by moving 2 games to Monday night.
Okay.
Champion points and regional qualifiers were removed in favor of a top 3 in summer format, and playoffs became a double elimination 8-team bracket instead of a more traditional 6. Some of
to be
these
fair,
changes were great,
Yes,
or
double.
even needed.
yes.
Double elimination brackets create more games, and who doesn't like watching more League?
Yes.
And changing the Spring Split Champions Global Reward to be MSI made more sense than granting a ticket to Worlds 6 months down the road. The rest of it, however, made no sense. Nobody was asking for Monday night games. Nobody wanted the 7th and 8th place teams in playoffs, and nobody wanted to lose the exciting regional qualifier matches leading up to Worlds.
That's one where I do disagree heavily because of the, like, if you're talking about 2020, one of the main reasons why you need to talk about, or one of the main things that you need to include in that time was COVID. COVID changed everything. Everything. We were looking for Monday Night League because we were looking for more league because we were stuck inside and had nothing else to do. And personally, I'm still looking for additional days of League of Legends. I would like to have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday League. If it meant Monday night, I'm not a big Monday Night League guy, personally. I think leading up into the weekends is more fair and something that I would rather see. I'd like us to get more on an LCK type schedule. But a lot of these changes did happen. The double elim you already covered, it was good, and I'm fine with that. But a lot of them also did happen by proxy of trying to throw shit at the wall to see what would work best during COVID times where people were demanding more and more, and we thought that there would be more eyes for it.
2020 is, at least to me, the beginning of the spiral.
Yes.
The beginning of the now prevalent and destructive culture within North American League of Legends esports of change for the sake of change.
I agree. And I'm sure you'll get in this. We're only 3 minutes into it, but I just want to put my prediction out there as to what you'll hopefully cover. It wasn't, at the beginning, it was not just change for the sake of change. At the beginning, it was the problems of franchising as we hit the 3-year mark, when you're looking at a 3 to 5 year tenure of investment banker and venture capitalist returns, you're hitting that mark where people are starting to say, okay, our runway's almost done. We need to start making money. And nobody in the scene was making money. Everybody was paying insanely high contracts. They weren't spending their money properly. So the changes were brought on by the fact that nobody was profitable and nobody was making this work to the extent that it used to be working. In addition to that, we weren't prepping for the next generation well. We weren't ready for when Bjergsen and Doublelift would step away. Hey, oh, let me just see this just so I can make sure it's right. Hold up. Aroshta, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. But we were starting to see the cracks of franchising, which we already knew existed. Take yourself back to 2018, 2019. People had a lot of fucking problems with Golden Guardians. The Golden Guardians was an issue back then. They finished last every single fucking split. It was insane. And it was okay, but we'd rather have somebody else in. So interest started dying for bottom teams quickly, as you could feel it wasn't working. And then the venture capitalist money started, like, or the VCs for some of these bottom teams wanted to start pulling out. And the change happened, in my opinion, because we did see the writing on the wall. And they were trying to make it work within the system that was not set up from the jump to work well. I personally think franchising, or at least 2018, was like the start of the end. And I will tell you right now, the reason why 100 Thieves failed, and I talked to Jackson Dahl, who was if you watch The Heist or any of the 100 Thieves content, I went out to lunch with him. And I'm sure he won't mind me saying this to a certain, now that we're getting out of league, and I truly don't give a fuck to a certain extent. I asked him, what do you think your big mistake was? Like, what, from your opinion, from the inside, because I have my thoughts, obviously, but what do you think the problem was? And his words were, we took too much money. We took on too much, and it created such high expectations that we couldn't meet. And part of that was us overselling ourselves. Part of that was Riot not, capitalizing on giving teams enough things in game, like not growing on the promises that they said they were gonna grow on. But at the end of the day, that was my opinion going into it. I'm glad he said it. You can't take $60 million plus and expect all this shit to work and for you to get your money back in 5 years. That was a false promise. And that was set up by Riot and Activision Blizzard, forcing these teams to go out and get money. And salaries ballooning up and nobody putting a cap on it. When franchising began, like, realistically, players should unionize. You needed a collective bargaining agreement to keep salaries at a proportion of cost. Like, salaries are my big number here of, like, look at the WNBA. Caitlin Clark can go get her own deals for a stupid amount of money. But her actual NBA salary is less than what a staff accountant makes. Oh, I just realized that we went on an ad break. I'm going to let that. I'll just talk a little bit more. But I won't start the video for like another minute. But, like, we had so many problems with our finances and budgeting that it fucked expectations from the start. And when you put expectations too high, you start throwing anything you can at the wall to make it stick. All right, I'm not waiting a minute. I'm playing.
Despite overhauling the league with mixed results in 2020, as soon as 2021 rolled around...
Oh, no, you didn't show them breaking the ceiling. They put a hole in the ceiling
minds
on my
behind
clip.
the LCS significantly overhauled the format once again.
Yep. I like lock-in tournament. I love lock-in tournament. I loved it. I'm sorry we as a region deal with fucking visa issues and it's only going to get worse, so you should have North American players like actually in your system because Korea could do this right now if they wanted to. I like lock-in. Kill me. Triple round ramen summer was interesting.
Surprisingly, these changes stuck.
What do you think about them having a salary cap in LCK and LPL but no info at all? Yeah, I need it to be public. Like, if you're gonna have a salary cap, you need public salaries. Like, I should be able to go on and look at like New York Knicks salary cap situation. I should be able to go on and immediately look up let me minimize my screen a little bit here. I should be able to know our total cap space that we're working with. These are your penalty buckets and like your tax implications as you have them. This isn't actually the site that I was hoping for. New York Knicks salaries. This is the one. This is what I was looking for. But like, I want to be able to see your pay per year. I want to see all this. Why would they hide it? Because they can't show it. In the United States, it's illegal to show player salaries like this without their consent. They need to have a collective bargaining agreement that allows that to be shown.
Fans liked the significant increase of played games, more grudge matches, and the sensible format of more games in summer.
Yes.
It felt good to tune in to our favorite teams' matches 3 times a week and cheer them on.
Great.
And starting the weekend off with a series of 5 Friday night games just felt good.
Yes.
Man,
Yes.
I hope Riot doesn't start to think we like watching games on weekdays.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you for that. No, don't do it. No, don't do it. No. No. Ah. Wait, hold on. Was I there? Hold up. Wait, was that me? Pog. Wait. No, go back. Mom, get the camera. Mom, get the camera. We're appearing on the Google search.
I hope you're starting to see the trend here. Over the past 4 years, since that 600,000 viewer finals, Riot had, in their own words, completely overhauled their product 3 times.
Yep.
Have there been some good changes scattered throughout them? Of course. Double round robin playoffs are great. Champions Queue was a great idea. But there's a limit on how much change people can handle, and there are consequences to forfeiting consistency. To illustrate the point, how has the viewership reacted to these overhauls,
Not well.
each of which promised to greatly improve the product?
Not very fucking well. You want to pull up numbers? Fine. Let's pull up numbers. Because I got this for a video. Let's see. Wait, was that? I made this because this was originally going to be my video for tomorrow until the sniper stuff popped off. I went and grabbed all the viewership from 2022 before the weekday change, the weekday change, back to 2024 in like the normal time period, and then 2025 so far. Because what I wanted to see was which change was worse, weekdays or the LTA North and everything this year, like the myriad of fucking things that happened this year. And the reality is that the mid-year drop during weekdays was worse. Like, we fell off harder during that year. But the spring over spring wasn't terrible. It's not worth like the drop off between the beginning and the end of the year this year is not as bad. So you would assume the weekday change is still worse than 2025's change, but we're also working with a smaller number here. You have less people to lose. So I'd be curious to know, in a hypothetical world where like our viewership was back up here, how much do we lose? But we weren't that far off. The thing that was alarming for me was the amount of people that, like this right here, the fact that we dropped an additional 21% viewership mid-year. Like, we've been close to 20, if not over 20 for the last 3 years, means that people are willing to tune in, or well, were, as of last year, willing to tune in and give the product a chance, and just said, nope. Nope. The drop-off never used to be that horrendous. Like, I'm looking at, like, spring over spring. Like this was a big one for me as well. It's like, okay, well, we went back to weekdays. Summer improved pretty drastically, and we lost all of that. We lost every bit of ground that we gained in 2024 by switching back to weekends this year. Oh, nobody likes the LCA branding at all. But we also lost more at the beginning of this year than we ever have. Weekdays at first weren't like the drop off was bad, but it wasn't horrendous. The drop off this year is atrocious. What's up, Holy Grail? How we doing? Weekday best ones? No, I can't blame them. But it is interesting to note that like you didn't see a massive fall off between 2022 and 2023. Now this speaks to a product problem over the course of the year as you're falling off. This to me speaks how well you retain interest, like how good is your base level of hype and excitement for North American League of Legends. Like the change between these two. Which actually I think we can do this. We can take the end year equals parentheses. We can take this minus this divided by this. Like this is your retention that you're coming in with year over year. Like how many of your summer viewers are you retaining and or losing? And we gained a lot going back from weekdays to there. Like we actually gained from like summer to spring 2024. Like switching back to weekends was massive. But then we lost again. So we got that bump back in 2024, but the product wasn't good enough to keep people around. It's the reality. Anyways.
Reacting to the massive drop in viewership, 2024 saw yet another overhaul, changing the league from 10 to 8 teams, changing to best of 3s, moving the schedule back to weekends with a 2-week gap for Valorant, and the addition of Super Weeks. 2025 overhauled everything yet again, on the biggest scale yet, rebranding the league to the LTA, merging with Central America and Brazil, introducing a guest slot from Academy,
which I like. That part I like. But everything
and creating
else, no.
a 3-split season with only one finals roadshow. And how have these improvements rectified the declining viewership?
Let's see it. And even that.
Riot Games has patched League of Legends every 2 weeks for 15 years. Sometimes these are minor updates, but sometimes you get large overhauls of entire game systems. I fear this culture has infiltrated.
So Sharpie, I don't know if you know this, but Papa Smithy actually came into my chat during Split 1. And when we were talking about all this, when the viewership discussions were at their peak. And I asked him, I was like, surely you're not using the combined LTA North and South playoff viewership numbers when pitching to sponsors, right? Because that's majority Portuguese audience that ain't gonna buy your American products. They don't give a shit about what you're doing. They're there to watch the Brazilian team, and they are like, it's not the same as like 100 or however many eyes on your product. And the response is, well, we're looking at a global thing. So yeah, like that number is more indicative of our global audience as we go there. And I was like, oh, we're fucked. Oh, we're fucked. We're so fucked. Like, what are we saying? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we lying? You can sit there, oh, but that's the number. No, you're lying. You're a North American org trying to get North American sponsors to buy North American products. Products made in China, but selling out of a North American company. What the fuck is a Portuguese audience going to do for you? Nothing. Fucking nothing.
The LCS. Change for the sake of change. Change to keep it feeling fresh. Change at the cost of consistency. And where has this legacy of change left the North American League of Legends ecosystem today?
this is going to be interesting.
One of the most important aspects of any relationship is trust, built on honesty and transparency. Honesty to tell the truth, and transparency to not hide any of the dirty details along the way. For traditional sports, fans need to trust the fairness and transparency of the officiating crew and the tournament organizers.
Yep.
For esports, there also needs to be a trust between the fan and the developer. Unfortunately, Riot has failed in both the transparency and the honesty departments.
Yep.
Remember the change from weekends to Thursday and Friday games? Everyone knew this was to make space for the Valorant games. Everyone knew it. Seriously, everyone.
Everyone.
But how did LCS explain this change? Let me read it to you exactly how they pitched it to us. And I quote,
Don't.
"Over the past decade, we've noticed that the viewing habits and daily schedules of our fans evolved. A recent deep dive we commissioned confirmed our suspicion. Viewership habits and fan expectations have changed. We learned that LCS viewers consume plenty of content on the weekdays, and peak viewing times have moved to shift the changing lifestyle of our fans. In fact, the modeling we've done clearly shows that by shifting the LCS to Thursday and Friday and removing overlapping broadcasts..."
No, it was I think it was Thursday, Friday, because then Saturday, Sunday were Valorant because it was only 2 days a week then. But Super Weeks you would do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
The league gains access to more available fans and viewers than if we had stayed on the weekend broadcast schedule. Do you believe this statement? I didn't. I knew it was a
Nobody did. I remember. I need to go back. Because I'm really gonna have to fucking go all the way over here. Where's Hotline League? This is what, so 2023 was what, 2 years ago now? Energy Victory Lap. This was 20 NRG won in 2023, which was the weekday change. So I need to go back further. I just want to make sure that I'm right. Why the fuck did that do that? I want to make sure I'm right on this. But I thought I remember Travis like standing up for weekday games. But I just want to...
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Hotline League, the reflection episode. Chatting out Grubhub and...
So now at a fork in the road, I was like, why don't I see if there's something
that I think has been received almost entirely negative, unless you're like living in London or something. Now,
like they would put the bad games first, which I don't think was ever like I was going to put that if that schedule thing didn't come out in my lane game script, I'd already written why that wasn't going to happen. If you just think about it a little bit more, but
Yeah.
That was the other thing is that people were kind of hoping like, okay, they'll just put out.
I was told and what the and
who knows?
Visions a day. You know, according to their article, is down to...
We decided to make you decide between the LF.
You wait. This has been months. This has been months and months and months that we have known that this is coming. It got leaked months ago. Riot has had all this time. The only time that they really like addressed it at all was John kind of vaguely alluding it to it in the interview that I did with him. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, oh, like the thing that is super telling to me is like.
No, I want to find...
Quick question on the data part.
To take, but I believe
to attrition, a lot of viewers that it's in this time slot. It is going to be able to do the marketing efforts that you need to go out and capture these new viewers, obtain and tell people accessible for them.
In owners meetings as well. You guys don't want.
And like to kind of loop it back to Justin, your call here. You said that like this could be good because the data is there. The biggest thing, I think this is the biggest conversation point around this is the philosophical question of who is the LCS for? And I think for me and a lot of people, the answer should be primarily North American viewers. This is a North American
Travis
league.
was consistent on it.
There's conversations to be had about the representation of North American players within this league, but it is a North American league. It's branded North American. It is, we represent for North American viewers. And they are saying with this decision, that is not who this product is for. It is for a global audience. Live in London, we're going to take disconnect, pay the money to do this league. So that is kind of where I'm at, Justin, is like, it just depends on what you're optimizing for. And for me, I would optimize for the North American viewer for the North American league. So,
yeah. Okay. So he's not like, he's against it, but like, I don't know. My big thing was like, we needed everybody to be unanimously fucking against this from the jump. And I don't feel like Travis personally was strong enough early on against this. For me, I don't think he was strong enough against it. I really don't. I don't know.
It's a lie. The community knew it was a lie. And no one believed the data they provided was even remotely real. So why was it being painted as some innovative thing the fans actually wanted? Why didn't Riot, at the very least, ask their fans directly? Why wasn't Riot simply transparent?
Because they never have been.
And what about the LTA merger? It was pitched as a highly innovative, hype, and exciting new update to the scene. But everyone knew what the real reason was. It was obvious. The leagues individually weren't making enough money or gaining enough watch time. And the hope was to combine the two regions together to help them build on one another.
Yes.
They also completely decimated the format once again, as we saw earlier. No one wanted any of those changes. Neither fan base wanted a merger, nobody wanted fewer arena finals, and nobody wanted to adopt that frankly stupid 3-split format from Europe.
Agreed. Okay, so there's two notes on this, which since my video that I made on Monday, I think are important call-outs. I made the segment about Mark Z specifically and his role in all of this as commissioner during this time. And I just want to be very clear that, said from the jump, the merger is a John Needham thing. John Needham, Chris Greeley, head of LoL Esports, their goal, as they've been stating for like 3 years now, is that they want to reduce the amount of teams in the LoL Esports ecosystem because they cannot properly service the amount of teams that we had in it. So the merger is 100% their directive. 100% like, hey, we need to reduce the amount of teams. You guys are the weakest region. You can combine in this capacity. Like, that's what you got to do. Where Mark Z's role comes in, I'm assuming, without any public info out there, probably the format and like the individual things. Because like think about the changes that Mark Z helped initiate that he didn't take sole credit for. He said that there were people behind them and the teams behind them of like, making sure the draft was being done between games back whenever we were doing best of ones and trying to speed up game time, like some of the flow changes that were happening, like all positive things, like small things like that he had to handle it. When we swapped to best of 3 weekdays, like that was something that he said, like, hey, we do want to try. And I went on Hotline League and debated with him, and he said, no, it was not good for us. So, like, that to me shows Mark Z had a thumb on this format. These format suggestions 100% are his doing. And he bears responsibility and blame for this, for the mass confusion that's out there, for it not being explained well, for the jump in formats, which I can somewhat get because probably like at the same time, you're being forced in.
who's in charge of Fearless? That's global. That was a global decision. 100%. Because everybody followed global. Once global made the choice after first stand that they were going to do it around the world, because LCK was talking. LCK was like in conversations to possibly like try and do it anyways. So if anything, LCK was kind of more leading the conversation, but global ultimately like led the change around the world. But when it comes to like the individual formats, Mark Z's put in a position where he's forced into this league and forced into the LTA, which he probably didn't want to fucking do. Because nobody with common sense, boots on the ground in North America would want to fucking do the LTA. Literally nobody. Oh, hold up. Sorry. My wife's texting me. So he's forced into the system and probably wants to do something to fucking make a splash, because otherwise, like, the limited amount of day games that they're in, the restrictions that are placed on them by trying to figure out a way to fucking, you know, do this cross-conference playoffs that John Needham has forced upon them, because now we can only send, you know, 3 teams for our entire LTA region. Like, it's too much. It's too much, and they bear responsibility for that. But in terms of the LTA branding, which I think is like there's a lot of issues to be had here, and a lot of blame to be assigned in various different places. Format, Mark Z. Individual things within like the region that could have been done, like not doing Swiss instead of this bullshit system that we're in fucking now. Mark Z's to blame for that. But John Needham, Chris Greeley, and the directors above, they're the ones that forced us into this fucking situation in the first place. And I'm assuming forced us to get rid of the LCS branding. And they better fucking change their mind and bring back LCS after this. Is there enough information out there about the profitability of teams? No, there's not. We have no clue who's operating on like a minimum, like just on their stipend that they get, or anything like that. We have no clue.
At the very least, Riot could have...
By the way, Sharpie, we are now 44 minutes into watching a 10-minute video. I warned you.
Explain that the leagues are struggling.
Isn't just Mark Z, LTA South Commissioner, would have also... Yeah, both of them. But like, when I say commissioner, I mean like Mark Z. Like, unfortunately, like, Mark Z does take the brunt of that. You are the product lead. When the product is shit, you take that responsibility. That the buck stops on you. Period.
Some cuts need to be made, and that these changes are intended to help stabilize the success of both leagues together long term. But did they do this? No. Riot's PR team pitched it as nothing but positives, with no sacrifices made, repeatedly gaslighting us, the audience, by telling us these changes are good, we will enjoy it, and we will not ask any questions.
Subtle touch there, but I really appreciate that.
These changes are
subtle touch.
Good. We will enjoy it, and we will
what
not.
What is player minimum salary? $75,000. So in theory, if you had take 100 Thieves, for example, you have 6 players on the roster, plus 2 coaches and an analyst. Say every 6, 2 coaches, analysts. You have 9, or you have 8. Say there's like one more person. I don't know, 9. That's what you need to operate your team. Everything else you would assume is like expense. Maybe say like for the full year, there's $120,000 of G&A costs and everything else there. If you pay everybody minimum salary, 75K only tier 1. I mean, that's North America minimum. Well, that's our region's minimum. I mean, assuming their stipend's $1 million, you can make a team work on $1 million and be profitable. Assuming just being profitable is your goal. But you're not going to win on that, obviously. So.
Any questions? Now, I could keep going over the countless times that the LCS or the LTA has made downgrades to things, but publicly announced them as a huge upgrade over an upbeat instrumental with an infographic video paired. But I won't. The point is, the fan base, by and large, does not trust the tournament organizers behind the product anymore.
No.
And this is largely because the fans are tired of being gaslit and being lied to. and being told what to like. The truth is, fans don't want to watch anything more than their favorite teams competing around a sensible and reliable format. They don't need to be told the hype is real, like in this season's format.
The fans will tell you if the hype is real. Period. That's one of my pet peeves that I've seen around a lot, especially with Riot in North America. Is like, oh, this thing is so hype. It's like, let the product speak for itself. You're doing a lot of telling me like this thing is cool rather than like letting the thing be cool and then telling people to believe the hype. I think that's a mental like philosophy that we need to start like learning and adapting from. Don't call everything cool. Don't call everything hype. Let it speak for itself. On broadcast, if analysts want to say something's exciting and a narrative is hype, like fine, but like when Riot's like pushing out like these new, like we're excited for these new and hype initiatives and all these things, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical with that.
Explainer video. They don't need to be told to get hype. They want something hype to get around. They need to be told the truth.
Yep.
But the truth, unfortunately, is a pipe dream for one very simple reason. Talking about control, co-streaming is the major outlier here. And I think it stems from the desperation Riot feels from the implosion of viewership. Remember, viewership attracts the investors and advertisers, who in turn pay most of the bills. But outside of this, Riot have held their cards incredibly close to their own chest. So close, in fact, I'd argue they don't even fully understand what cards they even have. Up until the Esports World Cup was announced, Riot held exclusivity over the teams and their players. This means that without Riot's express consent or approval, teams are forbidden from participating in any other tournaments ever. And this permission was rarely given out at all, except for events like Intel Extreme Masters or the Asian Games. Riot has insisted over and over against allowing teams to host home show events as well. Despite many teams showing significant interest.
Hey, what's up? On stream. Anything interesting going on?
Okay. Just left Gucci's. I would have stayed a little longer, but I have a double show tomorrow and also like the fridge issue and all that. But did you get eggs or just milk and butter?
Just milk and butter, and even the butter's like, it's like, you know, those like sticks of butter. It's like, it's a massive block. That's all they had.
Ew. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Okay. I didn't get out in time to damn it to stop at Target, so I'll probably stop at I don't know, Walgreens or something on the way back. I'll get if they have it, I'll get butter. If not, just use that for now, and then I'll get a country crock on the way home tomorrow. But I might get eggs on the way home as well.
All right.
So.
Sounds good. I gotta go.
No.
Yep, I'm streaming. You're being rude to everybody on stream.
You're rude. All right, I'll talk to you later. I love you.
All right,
Bye.
I love you. Bye. All right. Yeah. Riot would have to give permission to a North American organizer to run something third party in the off season, which they wouldn't do.
In Riot's defense, this was finally broken recently in Korea and Europe as well, but has yet to happen in North America. When we asked them about it a while ago, Riot responded that since they can't guarantee the quality of the product produced by the teams or leagues that will match their own standards, they don't want to take the risk of the standards being dropped or their product looking worse than it is. Perhaps in 2016,
how's that product looking now?
You had an argument. Perhaps in its prime, when your finals product was seemingly exponentially growing up to 1 million concurrent viewers and beyond, you could justify wanting some control over your league. Mm-hmm. I totally understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But now...
Hold up. But What now?
When the Colonel cooked up his famous $7 film.
Let's Oh, this is LTA. Never mind. I need fucking 2024. I don't need highlights. I need the actual stream. 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest. LCS semi-final. I need the full fucking VOD. Why is it so hard to find these? Like, seriously, why is this so complicated? Why do I have to go? I really have to go all the way to fucking here. Jesus Christ. All right, here we go. Let's do ourselves a favor. Let's take a look at this crowd. Notice how they're only showing the front, I don't know, 400 or 500 people in a 6,000 seat stadium or a seat arena. Let's see. Do they show any camera angle besides that front one at any point? Look at it already. Look at this entire section over here. Blank. I'm trying to see. There it was. They showed some fan crowd stuff, but it was like fucking dead in there. Why? Because they held semifinals for finals weekend. Can we show the goddamn crowd, please? Maybe I gotta go between games. Maybe that's the key to it. Hey, Lil Bork, thank you for following.
Is a running. One. FlyQuest land that knock.
6,000 people. There was maybe 2,000 at most there. No, 2,000 is an overstatement. I think people said there's like 1,000 on that first day. Oh, yeah. It speaks volume. They were intentionally hiding it for a reason. Yeah, I saw the Milky Way stuff.
No.
I went to this last. Okay, you were there. Were you there both days, or were you there Friday, Saturday? Great, you're perfect to ask about this. Okay, both days. How filled was it on Friday? Because I heard it was fucking dead. Like, relative to the entire like arena that's available, I heard it was dead. The upper deck was empty. Okay, the upper deck is 3,000 of those 6,000 seats. Okay, so at minimum, if the upper deck was dead, we know that, and I know all the seats in the front were filled because we already saw that one side section, which was just like empty. Like, at most, you're probably dealing with 2,000 people there for a Friday game, for a Friday series.
It's time to drop the ego, Riot. It's time to facilitate the teams, not your league.
Agreed.
It's time to help organize all the leagues across the world, both Tier 1, Tier 2, and beyond, and not ban them from building each other up. It's time to step back and let the teams attempt to thrive again, not be their dictator. Shopify Rebellion should be allowed to compete against an amateur team in a league like Aegis or Blue Otter, if they wanted to. Team Liquid should be given the support they need to host a home show, or regular home show.
Don't know if I agree with that first part. I think the Aegis and like Blue Water, like that I don't like. If it's a tournament, fine. Like if it's like a online like tournament, fine. But like a league, no, they should not be allowed to play in the leagues. If you're throwing like a $5,000 tournament on the weekend, or you go to like DreamHack, fine. That I agree with. Leagues, nah, I'm not for that in any way, shape, or form. Home shows, obviously, yes. Like, I think it's very clear where I stand on that.
And Cloud9 should be allowed and encouraged to call up amateur teams across the Americas and host midweek mini tournaments and even play against the winners.
Sure.
This is what a healthy and thriving ecosystem looks like. Heavy investment.
Plays that should be up to Blue Water to say no to it. No, I think on the league front, that's fair to Riot. I think that's fair. I think they can restrict a league. I don't think they can restrict tournaments, because tournaments are not something that's being offered by Riot. If there's something that is not being offered by Riot, I agree. I think you can go elsewhere. But a league, like actually playing in a league that's not Riot's main thing, no, I 100% agree that should not be allowed by Riot. Personally, I think it devalues a lot of shit if you do that. But the tournaments, I'm 100% for. Absolutely. Like there's a middle ground to be had.
Across the board.
I went to some LCS weekends in the last couple of years that had like 30 to 50 people. Oh, the LCS studio is fucking dead. It's dead.
Players, organizations, amateur tournament organizers, casters, producers, and fans all working together to make the North American League of Legends esports project as good and on a united front as possible.
This is a tough debate.
One of the biggest barriers to a cohesive final product, at least to me, is a lack of a clear direction. When I'm watching North American teams play, I'm often not sure whether I'm cheering for entertainers or athletes. And to be honest, I don't think the LTA knows either.
No, they don't.
In the middle of a match, it certainly feels like a professional sport.
It's a broom closet filled up. I mean, for now, it's been a broom closet, but like when we're actually there, it's not bad. Like when we're actually in the studio itself is pretty nice for a black box theater.
The casters are usually taking things pretty seriously. Play-by-play is verbally navigating the ins and outs of combat using professional and intriguing dialect. And the color commentators are providing great valuable insights to what those plays will translate into. Build options, power spikes, or other bits of information that are relevant to the game. And then the game concludes, the lights go up, the players take a bow, and
I've been told by people that are attending games now that it's only 30 to 50 people in there that aren't staff or directly with people, and that's on weekends. So that number has not changed.
Things change. There's typically an unserious interview with at least one or two joke questions, followed by a heavily casual lounge segment that may analyze some of the game, but spends a majority of the time bantering and trying to be entertainers instead of analysts. As such, the question really needs to be answered. Is the
I don't know how much I want to say on this because I don't want to get called out by fucking Azael and Raz and everybody else on this. I really don't, because I love them all individually. But I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't miss the feel of like the traditional like ESPN sports broadcast feel. I love that shit. I do. Like this type of stuff is like this does not do anything for me at all. I miss the sports broadcast style of things so fucking much. And it's like, if you want things to be more relaxed, then you go to the co-streamers. That's kind of like always been the logic of it. Like, I do not like at all how it's steered away from that. I get they're going for a more casual audience, and fine, maybe that works for people, but like we're bleeding viewership, so clearly it ain't. And the main broadcast like numbers have gone down
The
so
LTA
much.
North a professional league like the NFL, or is it an entertainment product like the WWE?
Yeah.
At the moment, it seems like it's trying to do
both.
Both.
And you can't do both.
And it hasn't been working. The imbalance and lack of a unified direction has baffled me for at least the past few years, and it's done no favors to the watchability of the product.
No.
When I watch the LCK, it certainly takes the angle of a highly streamlined and professional broadcast, saving me more entertaining, content-related pieces for the transitions between one series to the next, instead of tying them in to the series itself. And sure, there are some moments of comedy or laughter here and there, especially when a game gets really stale, but the atmosphere throughout it tells a cohesive story. This is a professional sport. We take it seriously, and we want you to take it seriously.
Considered an entertainment league. Yes, I know it is, and I agree, but there's still like, you can be an entertainment league and still be buttoned up, is the way I would explain it. I don't feel like we're buttoned up as a product.
Not exist for the LTA.
That doesn't mean like, oh, we're buttoned up. We can't have like personalities like shit on the product or shit on like, you know, bad plays and stuff like that. I'll get a contract. Oh, between oh, I know. I don't need to go back. I know the LCK teasers are great.
And this is a problem that needs to be addressed if the North American League wants to get back on the map.
I hate it. I did. It did nothing for me. It did nothing for me at all. But the competition is the entertainment. Exactly. Cycle of life.
So is it all hopeless?
That was dramatic. that was like Sharpie, I love you. That you know what that reminded me of? Hold up. I was fully expecting you to come out and just say it exactly like these kids. I was waiting for it. It didn't happen, but I was waiting for it. Fucking South Park goth kids. Dye the hair black.
Just argue that the direction has been wrong for the better part of a decade.
Agreed.
That the atmosphere is wrong, the organizers are dishonest, and the management is greedy. I've had very little nice to say about North American League of Legends, and it hasn't been getting better. Even recently, detrimental problems are still occurring almost daily in the NACL, and the LTA's third split has fans so confused they're scrambling to Twitter to try to make sense of everything.
I know you're including the NACL in there. I would just keep that as a separate issue personally. That's just me. You already got a big enough topic that you're tackling on this one.
Nobody even knows what's going on anymore, it seems. And as a fan, at this point, it's really easy to
please tell
just
me you used
throw
the
in the
clip I
towel
think
and
you
call
need
it
to
quits. But
No. Okay, you didn't, but dude, there was a perfect opportunity. Hold up, I gotta show you this. It was the most hysterical thing. LTA North. There was a moment when FBI planted his flag down where he came up and did it, and the flag was backwards. It was like it was the perfect embodiment of like nobody knowing what the fuck is going on.
Summer break's just
and,
a few
like,
days.
everybody just being lost at the same time. It was perfect. Here, it's gonna be one of the funniest. It'll be the funniest thing.
Nobody 2. Rated R. Only in theaters Friday.
YouTube, come on. Help a brother out.
Muscle is only good if you can flex it. EF Goodrich, what are you building for?
Now, selected. Selected.
faith in my my.
Next weekend, if you want to come watch the matches in person, follow the link on screen or scan the QR code.
Alright, watch it. Watch this shit.
Come
Watch
on
this shit.
my left.
Watch FBI.
And we'll start over here with Saint. Saint, Lion has had a very interesting story so
Even
far
FBI
this
gave
year.
up on
You've
the
gotten
fucking
so
split.
much props from a lot of the top teams.
It was
Saint.
so cooked.
You gotta respect them.
It was
They're
so
a team
cooked.
that can be dangerous.
This-
Lion has had a very
like-
interesting.
No notes. No notes. Perfect embodiment of everything going on. Perfect. Like, I was like, oh, man. I tried taking a picture of it. I couldn't rewind quick enough. I was like, ah. Fuck, man.
Story so far this year.
I'd like to argue that despite such a rich history of mismanagement on Riot's behalf,
And the team's part, to be very clear. Teams play a lot of responsibility in this. A lot. Even if Riot obviously is shooting them in the foot as well.
all is still not lost. At the end of the day, those 600,000 peak concurrent viewers are still out there somewhere. Tens of millions of players are still logging in every day to play League, and co-streamers like I Will Dominate still get 50,000 plus views on YouTube uploaded reaction highlights alone. The point is, the fans still want it to work. They still want to tune in to a weekend of exciting matches featuring their favorite teams and cheer them on.
Agreed.
Riot just needs to get out of their way. It's almost poetic how similar Victor's story arc in Arcane matches that of the LCS. Starting off simple but passionate, they're both eventually become so wrapped up in ego, self-righteousness, control, and insistence on constant transformation, or glorious evolution if you will, that they lose their identity in the midst of it all. As Victor himself put it, in the pursuit of great, we failed to do good.
But is Riot gay enough, though? Like, Victor Nation, like, is Riot gay enough to be able to handle it? I don't think they've gone woke enough.
And that's the thing. The LCS or the LTA don't need to be great. They don't need to be consistently innovating, nor do they need to be micromanaged or controlled.
Agreed.
It just needs to be good. Consistently. And Riot, it can be. If you let it.
It can be. I agree with your points on Riot. I would also say the teams bear, like, what was not talked about, and that's for obvious reasons, because this is covering Riot's, portion of this, and I agree with everything. Teams have also failed it pretty drastically. Like, without the likes of, like, TSM, with CLG, with these orgs early on that, like, understood the content landscape, like, sure, you can simplify it, but, like, here's my thought process and what it's been for the last few days. Like, if you simplify the product, like I'm trying to push, it then becomes reliant on, like, players and teams doing the things that they need to do to make it work. And I'm scared that Riot's going to look at that and be like, we don't trust teams to do the right thing in these moments. To which I would say, I don't think you have a choice if you're Riot, personally. I think you need to, like, at the end of the day, that you picked your partners for a reason. Let them try and do the work that they say that they're going to do with it. But teams and players bear so much responsibility on all this. And do I have the same level of faith as you that this ship can be saved? I'll be honest with you. No, I don't. But that doesn't mean that I think North American League is going to die. What I think will happen is we will shrink small enough to the point where we will, whether you get like a team in the LEC, like you get an America's slot within the LEC in some way, shape, or form. Like I don't know, determine a way to like send teams over. Like North America League is not going to die. We'll just have like 2 or like 4 representatives that get bled in elsewhere in some way, shape, or form. Like, and maybe that's what we have to do. Maybe that's where it's at this point. But with the current people involved in North American League, not the low level people. I know like the people at the technical level are really good at what they do. Manny, for example, on the broadcast, phenomenal guy. Fucking love him. The Leo, the stats guy, love him. Great. Some of the talent on air, we know are good. I don't know if we can save it. And for me personally, and maybe this is just me with 100 Thieves, going down with the ship as well. Like, I'm prepping to try and build something out of the ashes and see what's next. Like, that's where my mind's at. I'm not moving on just because I think the league's going to die. I think something else is going to come out of it. And I don't know what that's going to be. But I do know the global LoL esports ecosystem, the viewership that exists internationally, the tournament structures, like people attending events in person, is still as strong as it's been, if not stronger. And that gives me faith for this esport long term. Now, where America stands on that, I don't know. I do not know. But International League isn't going fucking anywhere. And that's the part that gives me a little bit of comfort. The few times that I get the chance to talk to Joe Marsh, it's like I see all the good things they're doing over there. And I know culturally we're not there, but it's like I know good things are happening everywhere around the world. And just because we're fucking up and maybe our players don't get it and our culture isn't there, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist around the world. You just got to find out how you fit into that ecosystem and that puzzle. And for me, it's tough without having a team. Knowing that my team's gone in 2 weeks really puts a damper on things. So I don't know where my place is right now. But what choice do you have other than, waiting and trying to figure it out? Yeah, we'll pretty much become OC at that point. But I mean, the thing is, like, I'm not going to stop playing League. I fucking love the game. Rec leagues are great. Like, I'm around in League long term until an esport comes and, like, actually takes my attention elsewhere. That's not happening. Maybe Beans, but even then, it feels like a pipe dream. I don't know. I just don't have faith in current Riot management and leadership to make the right call that's needed. I don't know. I do not know. Let me hit you with the love this. Well done. Help for the algorithm. Comments and likes are always good to help push stuff out. I mean, let's take a look now. It's what, a Tuesday evening? Let's see who's streaming. Let's see who is live in League of Legends that is a pro player. Great video, Sharby. No notes, no comment. I mean, well, okay, I say no notes, no comments. Literally, what I tell you, we started at an hour 5. It is 2 hours, 21 minutes. It took me an hour and 20 minutes to get through a 20-minute video. Hassan ain't got shit on me. He ain't got shit on me. All right. High to low, language, English. Let's see what we got. We got double if reruns are leading everything. Rush, Lorlo, Trick 2G, Night Blue, Speak is playing. I mean, he's watching a Dom video. Paul Belter. I'm assuming that's a meme. Swag, somersault, anti-bot. Trying to go down and see what's going on here. I'm not seeing anybody so far. I'm assuming that's formerly C9 Avril. Vulcan's there at 40 viewers. Nice. Dokel's live. Practicing for Lion. Tracking the pros is watching Dokla. That's it. That's it. Zamudo? Zamudo's live. Wait, where? Let me see. Zamudo 7? Is that his name? Fuck it. We're going to raid him. Hell yeah. Good for Zamudo. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's give him the raid. Sharpie, thank you for the fun video to watch. For everybody else, if you don't mind, tomorrow, when the sniper video officially goes live, if you don't mind watching it, giving it a like, and helping out with the algorithm as always, I'll have it posted in the Discord. Stream-wise, yeah, that's why they do not stream. This is why. I mean, you got to do something and have innovative content. You got to stream consistently to be able to build an audience. That's just the nature of streaming. Like, you got to make stream entertaining if you're going to do it. You can't just stream for the sake of streaming and rely on yourself. That's the reality. And very few of them are actually doing that. On the video would be cool. Yeah, I got you. Don't worry. Oh, that sounds good. I need to raid. Okay. And then I need to fold my laundry because someone's going to fucking kill me if I don't. Oh, and everybody just got hit with ads. That's tragic. Zamudo 7. All right. Everybody say hi to Zamudo. Wish him luck, but not that much luck because we still want 100 Thieves to preferably win that series. That would be great. But everybody go say hi. Wish him the best of luck. But hopefully not a series win. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next stream tomorrow. We got the crossover podcast, a special edition, and keep an eye on the LTA report. You might see some familiar faces on there. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.